This screen allows you to connect the press to auxiliary equipment and automate specific functions based on inputs, cam angles, or both. The action column specifies what the machine will do when the conditions are met. Each column represents the specific conditions that must be satisfied for the action to occur. The angle settings determine the press's position for the condition to hold true. Setting both angles to 0 keeps the condition always true. Setting the lower angle to 90 and the higher angle to 270 applies the modifier between these angles, passing through 180. Setting the lower angle to 270 and the higher angle to 90 applies the modifier between these angles, passing through 0. A specific direction can also be defined. With a conventional press, the direction should almost always be positive, as the press can only produce in the forward direction. When the angle and direction conditions are met, the input conditions are evaluated. If set to none, the input is ignored. If a specific line is selected, it must meet one of these types: normally open, true while the PLC input is active; normally closed, true while the PLC input is inactive; rising wave, true when the PLC signal changes from false to true; falling wave, true when the PLC signal changes from true to false; rising falling, true when the signal toggles true, then false; falling rising, true when the signal toggles false, then true; rising falling rising, true when the signal toggles true, false, then true again; falling rising falling, true when the signal toggles false, true, then false again. For input wiring, ensure the signals are 24 volts PNP. Improper connections can damage the equipment. Refer to the machine's electrical schematics for guidance. For types of actions are available. Start condition prevents the press from starting if conditions aren't met. Top stop stops the press after completing the current stroke, equivalent to the operator's top stop button. Immediate stop stops the press instantly if conditions are fulfilled, for example die protection. Relay trigger activates up to 16 relays in the electrical panel when conditions are met. Refer to the schematics for connections. A timer delay can be set to ensure all conditions remain true for a specified time before triggering the action. You can also name the user IOs to facilitate setup and troubleshooting. This section allows you to monitor and configure conditions that are active regardless of the loaded recipe. You can set up to 16 user IPROs if your machine includes the 16 IO option. By clicking Modify, you can access a page to set specific global inputs. Enable a user input/output by checking the Enable box. Define the conditions that must be met to trigger an action, then save your changes. You can view the current cam angle state to confirm whether the press is within the defined range. Additionally, you can check the actual state of the selected user input.